PodcastHero.com.
Reporting from my secret underground lair, here are the latest great news stories from greatnewspodcast.com. Brought to you by The Daily Quote, the podcast designed to kickstart your day in a positive way. Tired of all the doom and gloom news from mainstream media? You'll get none of that here. Instead, you'll find inspiring stories and developments, making the world a better place. I'm Andrew McGivern, and this is the Great News Podcast. Today, we are exploring how artificial intelligence is moving medicine from a game of chance to a masterwork of design. Plus, we'll look at a cooling system inspired by ancient beehives, a non-invasive nasal drop that could tackle the deadliest brain cancers, and a backup power system that ensures you'll never even notice a blackout again. And stick around to the end for the speed round, where we'll dive into even more great news. First up, our lead story today marks a shift in the very foundation of medicine. AI-designed antibodies are racing toward clinical trials. For years, creating these proteins, which can target cancer, infections, and neurological disorders, was a laborious process of trial and error. And it's often limited to what exists in nature. But now, generative biology is allowing researchers to design entirely new antibodies from scratch. One company, Generate Biomedicines, has already presented promising data for an AI-designed asthma treatment. In early trials, a single shot every 6 months successfully lowered asthma-triggering proteins without notable side effects. Meanwhile, Nobel Prize winner David Baker's team has upgraded AI models to dream up antibodies for virtually any target at the atomic level, a feat once considered a holy grail of science. These designer proteins are proving more precise, docking into biological locks that were previously deemed undruggable. If you like the Great News Podcast, you'll love the Great Newsletter. Because the Great News Podcast is great, but the Great Newsletter is greater. Link is in the show notes. Next, we look at a beautiful marriage of ancient tradition and modern architecture. In Delhi, where nighttime temperatures have soared to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 35 degrees Celsius, architect Monish Siripurapu is using terracotta to keep homes cool. His company, Cool Ant, uses hollow earthen cones inspired by the structure of a beehive. By pouring water over these terracotta pots, the system uses evaporative cooling and natural ventilation to significantly reduce the load on mechanical air conditioning. These installations can be used in windows or as building facades, requiring very little energy to function. Moving back to medical breakthroughs, researchers have developed a simple nasal drop that could treat glioblastoma, the deadliest form of brain cancer. Typically, it is extremely difficult to deliver drugs into the brain, but this new method uses spherical nucleic acids, nanoscale structures that travel along nerves from the nose directly to the brain. In mouse studies, these drops activated the immune system to eradicate aggressive tumors with just 1 or 2 doses, even creating long-lasting protection against recurrence. Yeah, mice are pretty lucky. Everything works on them. Finally, for those worried about power outages, Anker has unveiled the Solix E10, described as the first ever smart hybrid backup system for an entire house. This weather-resistant stackable system combines an inverter, modular batteries, and a tri-fuel generator. It's so fast that it can switch over in just 20 milliseconds, meaning that your Wi-Fi and all your devices won't even reboot. With enough battery packs, it can power an average home for up to 15 days. Okay, let's dive into the speed round for even more great news. Swiss startup Ahead Health raised $6 million to scale an AI platform that combines full-body MRIs and blood tests to detect diseases like cancer or cardiovascular issues years before symptoms appear. A new meta-analysis shows that mobile phone apps make you 3 times more likely to quit smoking for at least 6 months compared to receiving no support, and especially effective when combined with traditional treatments. Scientists at the University of Chicago have turned a protein into a biological quantum bit, or qubit, creating a fragile but incredibly powerful sensor that could detect diseases at the cellular level earlier than ever before. Researchers have identified an inflammatory switch called the PAF receptor. Blocking this pathway in mice helped reduce scarring and injury in liver cirrhosis, offering hope for a new epigenetic therapy. Scientists found that a mechanosensor called Piezo-1 in stem cells is what triggers the benefits of exercise on bone density, potentially leading to new therapies that mimic the effects of a workout without a workout for those with osteoporosis. A new biotech company, TEC Regen, has emerged with a plan to rebuild the aging immune system by regenerating the thymus, the organ responsible for producing T cells. And it typically turns to fat as we age. If you're over 50, your thymus is likely getting a little fatty. So this is a welcome reboot for our immune systems. And my favorite quote of the day from the Daily Quote podcast this week is from Albert Einstein, who once said, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." Listen to an inspiring quote every single day by following the Daily Quote in your podcast app of choice. That's it for today's episode of Great News. From AI-designed medicine and ancient cooling techniques to home power security and non-invasive cancer treatments, we are seeing problems solved that were once thought unsolvable. And this isn't happening in some distant far-off future. We're seeing these developments right now. If you love this content, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share with someone who needs a little positivity today. Until next time, and there will be a next time, keep looking for the good in the world, because it's not only there, it's everywhere.